Thank you.
All right, we'll go then. Well, appreciate it, Lee. Very much so. Appreciate your time. Like I say, this is the reason we've got you on. You've got a hell of a lot of knowledge to share, which a lot of people will take a lot from in terms of obviously the business side and the personal side. I think how you've kind of grown as a business and as a human being, because at the end of the day, it's all the same thing to me. You're a business, and a personal is not two separate things. You're just all one. And I think you need to grow as a human to grow a business. And yeah, and you're the perfect example of how you do that. And hopefully, like I say, you can share some of your experience and what's worked for you. And a lot of guys can take a lot of inspiration from that.
Pleasure, mate. Well, really appreciate the opportunity. It's my story, I guess, so I can't get it wrong. So
That's it.
That's one positive. And if someone learns from it, it was all worthwhile. God bless.
Yeah, that's the one. So I'll share my screen then, so you can see these slides. Just give me a sec. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah. See the bespoke slide?
Yeah, we can stay in there. Probably just going to go a slideshow if that's okay. Click on that and it'll come in.
Is that it? Can you see that?
Yeah, we can see, mate. It's still got the full presentation. If you click slideshow at the top, mate, it should come in properly.
Where?
Slideshow, top red bar. Up, straight up. Up, left, other way. Keep going.
Oh, slideshow.
There we go.
I don't use it. What is this PowerPoint, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm leading the plan,
use
mate.
Canva. What should I just press play from the start?
Usually should that work, but I mean, listen, I just a loose guide, guys. So I'm happy just to blast through. You know, the presentation isn't me. You know, my story is my story, and the presentation is just a bit of a loose guide. Cool. So, I guess, guys, if we look on, we're going to talk about Matt. First of all, thanks, Dan, for inviting me on to the call. I really appreciate it. I've not done one for a while. We have got a session. I think it's April the 21st when we get that many invites. That many requests for people to come up and see what we do at Bespoke, and how we do it. We've had to put a full 2-day event on where we're going to do like half an hour slots for companies. I think we've got 30 companies over 2 days who've took up them slots straight away. I will put more on though if anybody wants to see what we do. Before we sort of get started, thank you for Dan for inviting me on. Dan's a friend of mine. I've known him for 2 or 3 years now. He's a nice gentleman and does a great job helping people build and grow their business. And God bless, that's what it's all about, right? Doing things in an ethical way and building and growing businesses and human beings the right way. I'll talk a little bit about my journey and then we'll go into the Bespoke journey and I'll show you what we're doing at Bespoke, where we are right now and then where we're going to go. And I'm happy to share how we get there as well, and what our vision is. And I'll open up to do a Q&A about anything I've got, guys. I really believe that you can only keep what you have by giving it away. And when I was coming through the ranks, the sort of elders, which I guess you could class me as now, weren't as forthcoming when it comes to advice and giving out guidance and support. And I believe that we've got a real duty and obligation to share our experiences and help. You know, I think it's the All Blacks book legacy, where you should always leave the dressing room in a better place than what it was when you first joined. So go through my journey. So first of all, click on that first picture, please, Dan, if you don't mind. Enlarge it. So I'll get the ugly bit out the way. But that's me 14 years ago. I've blanked out my little girl, Honey, who's not little no more now, she's 17. And my niece, Emmy, who's 14. As you can probably see by the picture, I'm quite poorly on that picture. When I say poorly, I suffer with a disease called addiction. And my substance of choice was anything I could get my hands on. It was around this time I was working in a warehouse. When I left school, I'm from a very, very, very rough place in Middlesbrough called Winniebanks. I've got a family who were quite embroiled amongst crime, and I grew up around that environment. I played football and that was my out. I got released from football 21, 22. I used to play pro at Hull City. Come home, played Northern League football, and it just, the Godfather had dragged me back in. And before I knew it, I was a raging addict and drawing 10 bags of heroin and whatever else. And it was around this time I lost my job at a factory called Magnet Warehouse, where we produced kitchens, and I was a warehouse worker while I was playing football on the weekend. And you can see from the picture, I'm quite poorly on there. I lost my job, I lost my house. It's quite a good angle, that one, because the left-hand side of my face, I had no teeth whatsoever. All drug related. If you'd told me then, God, in 14 years' time, you'd be principal of a firm that has, I think we've got 103 active advisors, and I think we've got 64 in the system. We'll end the year with 300 to 400 advisors we'll end up with this year. It would have defied logic. Looking at the picture, you can probably see that, right? And I overdosed around this time. I was homeless, lost my house, lost my relationship, lost my job. I was in about 80, 90 grit with some not nice people. And I suffered a series of overdoses. One in particular was quite a severe one. I believe it was heroin. I don't know. I can't remember. Out of nowhere, I magically got offered a job selling insurance for a company called Combine Insurance Company of America, CICA. If you don't know them, I would really recommend that everyone gets to read these type of things. You should really be up to date. One of my major beliefs when it comes to success is study. So you should know Earl Williams are, PHP, CICA, Ally Dunbar over here. We should all know who these companies are because they were the best, and you should follow in the tracks of the best and study the habits of successful people and get similar results. And I got offered a job at Combine Insurance around this time. I'd never owned a suit before, but the girl I was seeing, a lady called Janine, who my middle son Bailey, I've got 3 beautiful children, Honey, Kit and Bailey. As all parents, that they're all reason why, right? I went on a training course in York. I smuggled 30 pounds worth of drugs on the course to get me through the week. Quite sad. It just shows you where I was at that stage, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. I was just locked up in a very, very dark place. I'd actually written out my suicide notes, and in my own head, I thought, right, I'll go and give this job a try. And if it doesn't work out, this sales stuff, I'll come home. And I knew exactly what time train at Yarm train station that I was going to jump in front of, and that had been called a day for me. In my head, I played it out. I thought about it a million times. So before I went, one of my last acts I did before I went on the training course in York was just write the notes out. And I remember getting the Honeys and Baileys, because Kit wasn't born, of course, at the time. He was only 4. And I couldn't write them out. So I went on this training course, Combine Insurance, and what a fantastic breeding ground, a great learning experience for me. I got put in a room. I was rattling at the time because obviously I was in and out of drugs, and went straight into a training course. The girl, Janine, got me a suit out of the Next catalogue. I'd never owned a suit before. If anyone's ever seen the film Big with Tom Hanks, where he gets a suit and he's a kid and it just drowns him, it was like one of them because we got the wrong size. I'd never owned a suit before, and I got one white shirt in a pack. And on the night times when everyone else went for a few beers at the bar, a bite to eat and stuff, I had no money. They provided your bed and breakfast, so I had to wait 24 hours for my breakfast. 24 hours for my breakfast every day. That was a bonus to me, getting free breakfast every day. I was like, mint, class this. And I used to wash my shirt in the bathtub, white shirt like this one, with them little hotel bars of soap, dry it on the radiator. I'll put it outside the window, close the window, and let it dry out for the night, and go and do the course the next day. On the Friday morning, we had our role play. If anyone ever worked at Combine, it was a real up and at them, in your face sales. And I believe that sales is the lost art that we should all really try and focus on and learn. Because you need it. And selling's a very human thing to do. We'll touch on that later on. And I my shirt didn't dry in time for the Friday morning role play, so I had a decision to make. Do I just go home and jump in front of that train, or do I go on the training course with a soaking wet shirt? And I went on the training course with a soaking wet shirt, and I passed the course. Miracle. I don't know how I got through the week. It had to have been some form of higher power or a God that got me through the week. I don't know how I did it. And then to pass the course was a miracle in itself. And a trainer called Craig Birch, who was like a Combine Insurance legend, gave me a book at the end of it. And he just said, I don't know what it is. I've just got a feeling you'll do okay, you son. And he recently connected with me on LinkedIn when we were on top firm of Primis. And he's a really nice moment, so yeah, God bless. So yeah, that was me on my journey. We're gonna go to the next page, please, Dan. And I went out selling insurance. At the time, I had no car because I put my car in on. Like layaway. I owed drug dealers money, so I put my car in on tick, and that was my way of paying my debt off. I settling my debt, and they kept it all. A bit like a pawn shop. So I had no car. I had no phone, and not having a car or a phone as a life insurance advisor, especially in 2009, which seems like a lifetime ago, then it wasn't good. So I got out and I walked. I'd regularly just walk the streets all day long, and I'd stop vans, I'd stop people, I'd be in out shops. If someone was up in a ladder window cleaners, I'd kick ladders and go, you need to come down and sign people up. I signed up donkey walkers. I went into traffic jams. Like I went in and out. I just did whatever I could to get by. I was given the gift of desperation, and it's a magical thing to be given. I remember I was asked a question last night. I did a Q&A last night for a group of people, and I was asked the question, the moment. Everybody wanted the moment. What was the moment where it all clicked? There was never a moment. There still isn't one. I'm always searching, I don't believe in that. A sparrow went past and I went, oh, it just hit me. And I was like a spiritual awakening. I'm not that guy. I'm a man of faith, but that never happened to me. But I remember watching The Pursuit of Happiness around this time with Will Smith, a great book. Leading it's called Chris Gardner, and he was sleeping in train stations, and he had a little boy, and I could just resonate with it a little bit. It was speaking to me right deep in my soul. And at the time, I was sleeping outside of a library. Yeah, I was living outside of the library and not in a good place, right? So, but it was at Compound Insurance when I just got myself going. I met these two gentlemen. Now, if you're not on the court, if you're not familiar with the life insurance industry, there's a lot of bluff in our industry about who's this and who's that, right? The guy in the middle is the best life insurance advisor of all time. Don't listen to any nonsense you say on LinkedIn. Bluffers, total bluffers. I've worked with all the best. Oliver Lodge is the best life insurance advisor of all time, categorically. That guy will do 100 plans a month. He's done that for 15 years now. 100 families a month. He's got a 98% persistency. He's the best for now. Great guy. And the right guy to the right of him is Terry Blackburn. And Terry is like the property millionaire where he's got about 1,000 houses and brilliant. But I was on the same training course and it was combined. You think, what is the chances of myself, Ollie and Terry, a Sparky, a joiner, and a junkie, going the training course at the same time and starting out on that journey? But I think the message there is, I'll come back to it later on because it's something that happened last week, is get a good running partner. Get a good running partner early doors, because the gift of competition, having a great running partner, every Batman needs a joker. And I was very lucky that I had them two guys to sort of run alongside, because I'm not as good a seller as Ollie, but he was never going to outlast me. All due respect, Oliver. Terry's better than me with money. Got them boy band good looks as well, Terry, and he's quite the entrepreneur, but he was never going to outwork me. No chance. So they were great because they just pushed me on. So the chance of us going on that journey together was like just a miracle. So I started out at Combine. They got took off the road. We started the job again. We went into a company called MetLife. Funny story. I can share these stories now because, allegedly this next bit, but I got in the car and I was thinking, maybe it's not for me, this insurance game. And I sold an insurance. I was a good seller. I used to blast loads of insurance out. I'd sell, I don't know. I was quite a good seller. I'd do 15, 20 plans a week. I was a big seller. I'd do like 4 or 5 life insurance sales a day. I went across to a company called MetLife and I thought, you know what, maybe it's not for me. I've been offered this job at like Metro Radio, which is based in Newcastle, and we're from Middlesbrough. It's an hour's drive. I had to protect my car. I couldn't afford any car insurance in my car because I wasn't out earning a commission. So my mate Jamie, I borrowed him. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that name. One of my mates, who was a lad off the estate, I borrowed him my car.
It's too late.
You
said it now.
He wasn't called Jamie. He'd give me lifts to and from appointments and whatever else. And we're going to an appointment of a Newcastle as a job interview, right? Is that what Kelly on the call? She'll hear this one. So anyway, I was going to a job interview in Newcastle and I thought, I'm done this insurance game. I'm going to get a job selling radio, advertising, get to my car on the way there. I had a shirt on, a tie, and I'm going to be good. I'm going to sell loads of radio space and whatever, right? 20 grand a year, little smart car, laptop, phone. I thought, fuck it, I'll kill this. On the way there, I got a blue light, right? And this was only like, 13 years ago, 14 years ago. I got a blue light and Jamie was like, just as we got pulled up, Jamie went, if they ask me, I'm called Foster. John Foster. I went, oh no, like, please tell me you're not driving on your mate's license. I could have done that. I didn't need you to do that for me. Blue light, I got shot in the cells for the night, and I missed my job interview for Metro Radio. They ripped the car apart looking for X, Y, and Z. Apparently he'd been caught speeding, and he was a bit of a lad of our state and whatever else, right? But that's what I grew up in. That's who I am. That's my journey. I can't.
What
tell
job
it
was
anything
that
else.
for? At the radio?
Sell-
What job
Selling
was that
radio
for?
space.
What? Say again.
Selling radio space, yeah. I was gonna get
Ads. Ads
yeah,
on.
I'm selling
Yeah.
radio ads, yeah, like Frank's Factory Flooring and all whatever it may be. And I thought I'm gonna get out of the insurance game. You talk about a divine intervention. My intervention, I ended up sat in the cell at Hartlepool, and the girl Janina had been saying our house got raided because it was my car, and they ripped the car apart looking for whatever they were looking for. Like I wasn't involved in nothing like that, but desperate, borrowed my mate my car, and I missed my job interview. Next day I rang up and I said, look, I've missed my interview. And she went, it's too late. We filled the job, Lee. Next time I'll give you a call. And I thought, shit, back to the insurance then. So I went to MetLife and I started selling with Ollie and Terry and Rachel, and the journey began. So I worked at MetLife for 4 years, and I was trying to, through my recovery at the moment, trying to give the gift of humility, but I could sell. I'm a hard worker. I was very, very good at process. And I still believe I am, defined very simple processes. And my addiction, my disease of addiction was actually a gift in business. And I just got really good, simple process that we carried on in Bespoke. And we just like, people want our fact finds, people want our circle of success, people want our core values, people want our rebuttal formula, people want our phone call technique, people want to know how we get 8 referrals of every single person. And it's all about just free stuff that we sort of thought up and formulated. But that was my school. That was my university, sort of like the University of Life. I didn't go to Winnie Oxford or Cambridge. I never even went to college. I was involved embroidering prime football from the age of like 13-year-old, for all my family members. So, but what a great education to sort of learn how to treat people, how to be entrepreneurial, how to think on your feet, how to sort of defend yourself, and how to have, how to, again, the gift of desperation. So anyway, so after about 4 or 5 years, Terry being an entrepreneur, he's the best businessman I've ever seen in my life. He come to me and said, like, we're going to leave MetLife, me, you, Ollie, Rachel, who was Ollie's wife, and Richard Varkulius, who was a top seller as well. He said, we're going to leave here, we're going to go and set our own company up, and we're going to go and speak to Sesame, we're going to go and speak to Tennant, and all these companies could see us on MetLife. We were all like top sellers, selling loads and loads of policies every month, like a lot of insurance. And they were saying, like, Terry had a massive team at the time, Richard had a big team, I had like 2 or 3 in my team. I was sort of the run to the litter, right? Not in my mind, though. I believe in the law of attraction and thinking things into existence. At my time, in my own head, I always believed in greatness. Like, so I'd always go and watch these guys win awards, but in my own head, I always believed I was completely in ut, not from an arrogant point of view, please believe me, but you can see in my house, I've got a vision board there. I carry that everywhere to my phone, my affirmations, and I drop that. But in my own head, I was the #1 insurance advisor, and I thought in my own head, I'll be the person who gets the biggest team. We'll get the biggest network in the UK. I'll end up with 5,000 advisors. We'll do this. We'll bring it to the public. We'll make it a really accessible career. And I thought all them things then, like, so none of this is a surprise to me happening. I've already watched this movie a million times in my own head, if that makes any sort of sense.
Yeah,
and I read
that's not arrogance. I think that's just self-belief in it, which I think you need to reach heights. Like I watch a lot of like UFC and boxing.
Yeah.
The confidence those guys have is like, and they need that, especially in that game, but in any game, to get to where you need to be, you need that self-assurance, that self-confidence. But
I agree with you. I totally agree. And I had it in my mind early doors, and I always thought, you know what, like a mom, the people that say son so's good, and I think, he's all right. And I know, like, so it might be in the street kid, the chip on my shoulder, the councillor's day kid, I'd be like, beat them, we'll do this. And I'm just in my heart and my gut, I knew. I'd watch it that many times. I was so familiar with it. I was so comfortable with it. I'd be like, no, stubbornly defiant. Remember, we finished 29th once at Primis, and Dave Booth, it was a legend. Again, this LinkedIn, it's quite, I have to bite my tongue at times, some of the stuff I say on LinkedIn about legend. I'm thinking, you sell about 5 plans a month. I've worked with you, I trained you, legend. I see some of the stuff and I'm like, pulling any hair I've got out, thinking, like, it's mad, some of the stuff I say, like how easy it is to get a reputation in the industry without doing anything. But Dave Booth was a legend, a true legend. And me and him had a thing for about 6 months, and it was like a Jose Aldo, Conor McGregor, Ali Foreman. We went back and forth for a month, but we needed each other. The gift of competition. Get it. Every Batman needs a Joker, and Dave needed Lee, and Lee needed Dave more than he ever knew. And I desperately wanted that top spot, and I was willing to do whatever I could to get that. So we'll come to that stuff. So anyway, around this time, Terry said we started meeting every single network, right? And we decided we're going to go to Sesame. Right now, the guys are going, brilliant, we're going to get our own business, we're going to get our own team. They don't know in the background, right, guys, I'm going, fuck, I'm going to have to show someone my credit report because Combine, you didn't need to do that. MetLife, I sort of just snuck in the back door. I was thinking, fuck, I owe someone like, I think it was 70, 80 grand debt. I was like, no, this ain't going to be good. My credit was that bad, I couldn't pay with cash. Like, this wasn't ever going to end good for me. And the feeling and the nausea and something, you're thinking, shit, what do I do? Radio jobs. And I was like, this was never going to end up good for me, guys.
But it did.
And then this guy happened again, God, our universe, whatever, a higher power of your own understanding. I'm not here to sort of impose God on people, but I am. Right? Yeah. He sort of, I went to a hotel called the Windmill Hotel. So if you think about Middlesbrough, the rough place, right? Outside of Middlesbrough, you've got a place called Hartlepool, rougher. And in between them, you've got a service station called the Windmill Hotel. I think it's got a -2-star rating. It's like, it's fucking rough. It's a motel, you know, like the ones you see outside Vegas. Anyway, we goes there to meet first complete. And the man who I'd meet for the first time who changed my life, I was a guy called Richard Coulson. And great dinner in there. So yeah. And I was going to meet a guy called Richard Coulson. Even I at MetLife, I remember after this I studied Allied Dunbar, PHP, Art Williams, W. Clement Stone, John Shepherd at Combine Insurance, Allied Dunbar. Richard Coulson was like, if you're in the industry again, he's a god, and like, look what he's achieved, look what he's done. It's just like, it's as good as it gets. You're talking like a Sir Alex Ferguson, or like he'd like to say Sir Bobby Robson figure. And I was like, the Richard Coulson. Terry went, yeah, he loved Terry. He wants me desperately. I've told him I'm going to bring my mate. And I was thinking, please get me in here. Yeah, please. Anyway, goes and meets Richard. Straight away, handshake, eye contact, shake hands from the street, laying on the street, right? Goes upstairs. Now, what Richard didn't know, this isn't a divine intervention, please, Lord, believe me. Like 2 weeks before that, we had a charity palm eating competition. If you're not from my area, you won't know what a palm is, but it's our delicacy. It's fried chicken, bechamel sauce, and cheese. It's what pizza is to the Romans, palm oil is to the Teessiders up the borough. So anyway, we had a charity palm eating competition for Great Ormond Street. So we had this place at a venue, Dan, like, the fucking chances of this, right? So we're in there. You're going to struggle to get me off this camera, and I am in the mood to talk. So we turns up, goes in the room for a coffee. There was Richard, I'll just say the other name, me and him don't speak anymore, but, you know, God bless him, Bob Scott, who arranged the meeting. Fair play to the man. You know, he did arrange the meeting, and I'm very grateful for him for that. And however he helped me in my career, I'm grateful for him for that. And, you know, these things happen, right? And Terry Blackburn, the guy called Gary Thorpe, who has game plan and NMS, another great guy, walks in the room. The lady come in who served us at the Palmo competition. She went, Lee, how are you doing? Gives a kiss and a cuddle. Crack on. Brilliant. No problem, right? All really good. At that stage, she this lady, Nikki, she gives me a kiss and a cuddle. And Richard sort of clocked out of the corner of his eye. The boss, I call him. So even still, he's retired now. I still call him the boss. He clocked out the corner of his eye. He went, guys, listen, get a coffee, sit down, have a bit of a chat, and I'll come back and just going to go to the bathroom. And it was about 5 years later, Dan, right? He said to me, because what he did was he come back in the room, he went to me, how much do you want, son? I went, just the same as them. He went, do you think you can go to the top? And I went, 100%. He went, do you want it bad? I went, like, more than you've ever met anyone in your life. Like, I need this. And he said, the story's true about the homelessness and the drugs. And I went, yeah, they're all true. But I won't let you down. I promise you. And I'll be part of the team that builds the biggest thing you'll ever see. I promise you. And he went, okay, cool. Put them on the same rate. He said, he literally went like, I went, put them on the same rates. I'll get you in. I went, what? I remember the feeling. I felt like fucking crying. I was like, I could just, I can feel the moment. I was like, oh, really? He went, I'll get you in. Don't let me down. I went, I promise you I won't let you down. He went, don't let me down. And I just needed someone to believe in me, and no one wants a boss, but everyone wants a mentor or a coach. And what I got on that day was like a father figure. And he changed my life, and I'll forever be grateful for Richard for that. It wasn't until 5 years later he said to me, he didn't go to the bathroom. You know what he did? The lady, Nikki, she was called. He followed her downstairs and said, "Excuse me, love, can I have a chat?" He went, "The cheeky chap up there, in with a bald head." She went, "Lee." He said, "He wants an opportunity. Should I give him one?" She went, "100%. She went, "Why?" This is a true story. It's anyone can back this up. No problem. He said, after the do last week, 3 days later, Lee come with a thank you card and a bunch of flowers to say thank you. He's old school. Now, I didn't know we were going to meet there. It was nothing to impress. You just, you got to be a gentleman, and you got to do things the right way. Old school values and integrity. Be grateful, have an attitude of gratitude. And I just showed a gratitude with a bunch of daffodils and a daft card saying thank you, because I was grateful. Unbeknown to me, that was kicking in the law of attraction and the law of reciprocity. I can't say certain names when your teeth for.
Reciprocity.
There you. What he said, I was just about to say that. Right, right. It was that, and 2 weeks later, Richard went, "Are you sure? Because if he lets me down, I'll come back and get you." She went, "Give that lad a job. He'll be the best thing you ever do." And I went, "Fuck, really? That happened?" He went, "Yeah." I went, I can't believe that. And I've been back to the pub and I don't know where she is anymore. I'd love to meet her because unbeknown, she changed my life, my kid's life. And she was the start of this thing called Bespoke that's gone on and done whatever it's done. So that was that journey. So we started up Bespoke. It was first complete at the time. I had 3 team members. I had to get a 15 grand loan of first complete to start the business. And I got given 1 year to set an agreement up with Northern Rock, Welcome Finance, and these people I owed money to. And I just basically my full wages for the first year I had to give back to clear my debt. So come to agreement where I owed them 50 grand, I had to pay like 25 grand off the clear money, whatever it may be, right? Like, we had come to an agreement and we did that. So I cleared and I was like, yeah, and that was my journey. That was like with 3 advisors at the time. But I was really, really solid on the time. I was like, look, sales process, we've got a very simple and clear fact find, and it's led to make a sale. I was very, very clear that we had to do a contact club, a call out club, every single Friday afternoon and Saturday morning, without fail. I made my guys go out and see sports team every single Saturday. It was before social media, but we had like a triangle of success. That's our circle of success. And it was about doing phone calls, getting referrals and closing sales, phone calls, getting referrals, closing sales. And we had a way where we could get 8 referrals of each person. So just be clear of Bespoke. That was with 3 people. Our first month score, we did £800 in premium. Last month, we did £33,000 in premium in February, just gone. And obviously, we've now gone, we'll end the year with 350 advisors from that 3. And that's in an 8-year period. We've never spent 1 pence, not 1 pence on a lead. We've never spent 1 pence on a recruitment agency. Everything we do is internal, it's organic, it's natural. And what we do is we don't bring people in and say, there's some leads, call them. We're going to show people how to build and grow their business within our business. And that's something that I'm really proud of. Next page, please, Dan, if you don't mind. That's Bespoke Financial Group. The first 5 years as a principal, what I did was I got out and I sold. Maybe it's not 5 years, maybe it's 3 or 4 years at Bespoke. I was sell. Started chipping away and I got 1 person and I ended up with a team of 6, 7, 8 people. And I got approached by 2 of the guys who are now directors, Darren Ralston, who was a scaffolder, joined me, but he's now a shareholder and director of the company, my business partner, Nathan Steele, who joined me. I don't know what Nathan was. Football coach, he used to play Xbox or something, I don't know, whatever. He come and joined me and he was like, look, we think you should stop selling. We think that you're a good seller, but we think you've got a lot to give, Lee. You ball of energy, you seem like a natural leader. And I was like, no, I can do both jobs. I was doing everything badly, really fucking badly. And they took me out and they made me get a right-hand woman in Michelle Carter, who come as a legend. And I started leading the program at that point. And instead of being a seller leader, I become a leader. And I started to really study and educate myself. I became obsessed with Art Williams at the A.L. Williams, Primerica. I become obsessed with W. Clemens. I was obsessive with Tony Smith, one of my mentors who I love very much, boss lady at Primis. Obsessive with Richard Coulson. Obsessive with John Morrison. Obsessed. I could tell you what shoe size they are, what they are for the dinner. I was like, I was just zoned in obsessive behavior and studying the habits and patterns of successful people. But I was bulletproof on my belief that we could beat them because it's all league tables of Primus. So we started building up our own culture. Now, to build up a culture, what you need is a few things, which I'll talk about in a minute. But we've got, if you're going to go down the picture again, that's one of our bespoke balls. We were the first firm I know to have our own internal bespoke ball. That's pitched to a few of us at our awards. Next one, please, again, Matty. But there you go, that one. So what do we give differently? Okay, we've got core values, which I'll touch on next. We've got something called the circle of success. But these are the things that we give differently and some of the things that we've achieved. Weekly training session, mandatory. Every Monday, every Thursday, every Monday, every Thursday, every Monday, every Thursday. Repetition. The circle of success is made up of 5 key elements. And we just do the same 5 things over and 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 over. And I've got some of the bespokers on the call in a minute. They'll tell you, like, I'll ring them before in the morning. They'll go, I've already got insurance. Tell me what you're saying. They'll go, do. I'll ring them and say, look to what you do. What's the best product for this? But they'll go, dish. And I just do. It's on that constantly. Because I believe in repetition. We've got 60 new advisors. It's more than that. We've done 14 interviews today. So I think we're about 74 now. Top firm in Primis, which is a really proud moment for me. 5 years in a row. We won it last week. And a really proud moment because the guy at the top, Oliver Lodge, who is the best life insurance advisor ever, please don't listen to what you see on LinkedIn. Ask them to post the scores. Get them to post the scores. They'll soon backtrack. Ollie is the man. Guaranteed. He's the best salesman ever. And Ollie won top sales advisor and we won top firm. So at a moment, I was like, the Sparky and the Junkie, like, okay, now the biggest network in the UK to win them 2 awards just made me feel like overcome with joy and gratitude for Oliver. And I'm going to get my phone if you don't mind, because my battery's going to die in here. So can I just have 2 seconds?
Yeah, right.
And I'm going to put it on Zoom on here, mate. Okay?
Yeah.
Cheers, brother. You might have to let me straight in.
Yeah.
Here we go, brother.
Done. Got Ailey. You were right about you and technology don't mix, weren't you?
Sort through this big pile of paperwork. All right.
Resistance thing right on. Right. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
There we go. Sorry about that, guys. I'm the worst for technology in the world, right? So yeah, we promote from within, and some of my proudest moments would be two of my business partners would join me as a scaffolder and a Xbox player. We've now created a sales leadership system. We've got 14 people on the sales leadership course. We don't recruit sales advisors. We make new ones. We always use a very simple process called the circle of success. In our business, we've won 30 national titles in 8 years. This next part is something that Greg said a lot. I don't know if it's true or not, but well, it is true. I think there's 5 self-made millionaires that have come through the Bespoke system, which is really important to me. And I can't name some of the people because we just don't have a relationship, well, not a good relationship anymore, but we've got 30 people who joined Bespoke without industry experience who are now principals, like 30 people. And to me, that is like, that's success, helping people go from where they are to where they want to be just by giving them a chance, mentoring, education, support, belief, encouragement, and watching them flourish and do well. And some of them we don't get on right now because I don't want to go into it, but we'll produce a lot more. And like I say, we're letting the air on 350, but we'll have 5,000 advisors in 3 years. I'm 100% clear on that one. As sure as night as day, 5,000 advisors, and we will always work with Primis as well, because loyalty is everything to me. I despise disloyalty, but I'm old school in my beliefs. I'm completely defiant of my loyalty. I'm like a Labrador Lee. You've got to be loyal. It's not for me. That jumping about ship to ship, network to network, and all that stuff. It's just not for me. That. So yeah, there's our core values. Now these core values were given to us by the team. Our team, we've got a works council, and we don't make any decision, not even changing the tea bags, without going to the works council, because I'm a servant leader. It's their company. I'm going to give you one of my sales beliefs as well in a minute. So 5 core values: kindness, hard work, having the faith, respect, and enthusiasm. Now I can see me bubbling around a little bit and going a bit jolly. So I've got some really big sales beliefs like study, speed kills, and a big one as well is don't eat during the day. Salespeople shouldn't eat during the day or have a wait before appointments, because you should have that level of enthusiasm. It gets the adrenaline, the juices flowing. So, and this is a real thing. So ask any of the guys at Bespoke, say, does Lee let you wee before appointments? Like, I would literally throw something at them if they tried to do that, because these tricks just work. I promise you. I absolutely defiantly sure that they work. So there you go. Hungry wolves. Always Joe, my man. There you go. So core values. Next one, please, Dan. There we go. The circle of success. Now, listen, you're going to see all this stuff online. Like, you know, it's the 3-part formula guaranteed success. Listen, this is the secret, right? And everyone wants a secret. There is no secret. I hate it when people are like, you've got to work smart and not hard. I'm like, no, you should do both. You should do both. It's just a given that you should do both. Mental that we even look for an opportunity to do anything else. But that circle of success there, that's what I believe. It started off as a triangle, it's now a circle. We're going to add a 6th one on there soon called positivity. You've got to, calls is now a little bit, you can approach people. People like Dan can show you how to do your ads and get you, it's just above and beyond me. Dan can show you that, 'cause he's great at it. But you've got to pick up the phone and call people. It won't work unless you work. The next one is referrals. We've got something called the 4 boxes. Every single person we see, we get 8 numbers off them guaranteed. Every single person for free. Social media, you've got it. It's like a shop window. Obscurity and isolation and is the cancer of all salespeople's success. Closers, you've got to be able to close. So many people, the art of making sales is now lost because everybody wants to be an advisor or a CEO or a founder and all that. And then recruitment. I'm just going to run the toilet because that weighing stuff does work, but it wouldn't be good if
Oh God, we've lost Lee.
There you go. Excuse me. Now I'm back. All right. So recruitment. So we believe in the power of multiplication not application. Search up the power of 3. That's a magic formula that we use that will help you build and grow your business. And it puts you into the red panty zone. So you shouldn't be doing that cold call stuff. You shouldn't be searching and talking to people you don't know. You should only ever speak to family and friends and family and friends and family and friends.
The red panty zone, did you just call that?
Red panty night, yeah. That's what you need to appointments. If you're going to an appointment, you don't know who the person is. It's like that's the wrong zone to be in. That's a cold zone. You need to be on red panty night. You need to be going somewhere and just sitting down. It's comfortable. And it's a family member and a friend. And what we do is when we believe in the power of recruitment, people over premium every single time. People over premium every single time. If you take a premium, as in one sale, all right, £40 premium, great, well done. But most advisors struggle with referrals. Most advisors don't do social media. And yet all you've got is a 4-year liability and a bit of commission. But if you take a person over the £40, you'll probably get the sale anyway. But the benefits and the opportunities are infinite. Infinite. And when you help somebody build and grow, it's so much more rewarding than just making a sale and making a sale and making a sale. It's like, we got it all wrong. I got it wrong at Bespoke, saying sell, 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 sell. No, build, 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 build. That's definitely the way to go. And that's how we've gone from 3 to 350 in 8 years. And the next one will be 5,000 in 3 years. 1 million. Please believe me on that one. I put money on it with anyone. 5,000 guaranteed. An army of sales leaders, of business partners. And we're just going to give the full company away. It's absolutely our business plan. I want every single person there, your Aaron Burns, your Kelly Jones, your Susie Wiggums, the sales leader, Alan Hemmons, Jamie Robb, Sean, they're all going to get shares in the company. We're going to give it away. And I want a team of partners. That's exactly my vision for that company. Yeah. Next one, our vision, please, Dan.
That's where you build a business, isn't it? When you've got that connection with people, that's where you build. God
bless.
Yeah, just that brand ethos. But
yeah, brand ethos. I agree.
It's the culture. Culture. That's the word I'm searching for. Culture.
Culture's important. It's a bit of a buzzword, don't it? Culture, because you get like these soppy podcasts by Bartlett and people like that. I'm thinking, like, there's a lot of buzzwords on podcasts, isn't there? You know, like, and I'm thinking there's no substance behind it. Now, I'm more of a reading a full book man. Now, when people read a podcast straight away, I think it's a bit weak. Pick up a book and read it. You're looking for a shortcut. Like, they don't exist. There's certainly no shortcuts on the circle of success. There's no shortcuts. There's no elevator to the top. You've got to walk them stairs. So straight away when someone goes, Bob Iger, I've seen his podcast, the president of Disney. I've seen a podcast. It was brilliant. I'm thinking, bluffer. Read the book twice. Like, really educate yourself, study, commit to it. Anyone can watch a half-an-hour podcast, do it on the way to work. Like, doesn't mean nothing. You're not going to take all that in. So at the minute, our vision is 500, it's 5,000 with Primis. It'll be 500 by the end of next year. I believe in the middle of the year after. £20 million a year. We'll do our first. I don't know. We believe we'll do £100,000 in premium this month. In a month, this year we did 33 last month. We believe we'll do £100,000 in premium this month. Our vision to go to 95% persistency and a hot company, which means honest, open, transparent advice, and build a home and a culture and an environment where anybody can come and build themselves a business within a business ethically with good people, getting mentored and supported and doing things the right way, you know. Next page, please, Dan. How do we do that? Our Bespoke Training Academy, headed up by Francis, is just exceptional. It's spat out advisors like Aaron Burns and Susie Wiggum and Gareth Denton and Kelly Jones and Louise Hamilton and Andrew Sullivan and many, many more. If I miss anyone, please forgive me, but there's so many of them coming through. And we do that. They get taught the circle of success, how to build a business, how to grow, to start recruiting from day dot. You get a job interview with us and you set up 3 appointments the same day and you set up 3 recruits the same day. And that's how we build and grow our business straight away. We're helping people build and grow businesses ethically in the right way by giving people an opportunity. And teaching our Bespoke is how to build and grow a business. So we've just started recently the first ever leadership development academy run by myself, Nathan Steele, Darren Ralston, and Richard Coulson, my mentor. And we've got 14 on that training academy. I've already got 8 for the next one that's going to be happening in July. I think 2 of them are on this call. God bless them. So leadership's developing new leaders, giving new opportunities. What you share will multiply and grow. And that's exactly where our vision is and how we'll get there. So, I mean, I hope that was helpful. That's a spin through of our journey where we are. But I'm absolutely open to answer. If you want to just stop the share and put it on a normal screen.
Yeah.
If you've got time, mate, I'll answer any questions you want. I'll be as brutal as you can be, opinions and whatever you want, guys, I'll give you, no worries.
Right, so that should be. Can you see that just as the normal everybody in there? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Cool. Back to it. So, yeah. What questions have people
If you've
got?
got any,
for
go
me?
on, I'm good. I mean, the recovery one, because Dean said to me earlier on, do you mind if I come in, Dean, at that point? I said about alcohol, I think. So throughout all that, I carried on my drug addiction. But instead of injecting heroin, I would just be that weekend party boy. I deserve it though, because I've worked hard there. I do double shifts. I start work at 4 in the morning and I'll work till midnight every night, every single day. So I'm not 14 years in my mind, I'm 30 years into the double shift thing. But my drug addiction continued. It just happened to be that I could justify it now because I was doing all right and it's just a blowout. I'm under pressure. I need a release. It's just a party. It's just a little celebration. And it totally spun out of control. And in Barcelona last year with Primis, where we'd won the top firm in Primis award, which is no mean feat. There's like 3,000 firms in Primis, right? I relapsed really, really bad and I let every single person down. And I was ended up locked in a hotel room for 3 or 4 days. I wanted to kill myself. I wanted to jump out the 21st floor. Just madness and insanity and all the addiction stories all addicts will share. I totally lost control and I was just a broken man at that point on every single level spiritually. And it didn't matter that we were achieving this and achieving that. I was just still that same addict that overdosed on heroin 14 years later. So I did the most courageous and brave thing that I've ever done in my life. And I asked for help. And I entered a 12-step recovery program. And I'm now very, very grateful and proud to say that I'm like 9.5 months clean, or as addicts say like me, I'm clean today, one day at a time. And I'm working that program and I'm trying my best, and it's somewhat of a spiritual rebirth for me and quite the experience. Definitely the most difficult thing I've done, but really surprised the amount of people in our industry who come forward and say, did you really have suicidal thoughts? Are you really an addict? Like, because I think I am, I need a bit of help, and no one dare talk about it. And fucking shame on the networks, and sorry for swear ladies, fucking shame on all the providers as well, because they're all right having us all run about making money for them all and doing X and doing Y and doing Z and league table lists and this absolute comparison culture on social media, keeping up with the Joneses, but they don't give a shit about our mental health. So one of my major visions is over the next couple of years, I'm going to put something in place for people like me who suffer suicidal thoughts and want to kill themselves and have down days and self-doubt, or addicts like me who need some help, because our industry is just a manufacturing conveyor belt for addiction and mental health issues. And shame on all the providers and the networks for not caring. By the way, Tony Smith at Primis and Richard have been amazing with me, so I'm very grateful to them. So I'd exclude them too, but I hope you know what I'm saying. That's not good. Fuck them.
Yeah, because most people in this industry haven't been there, so they can't see it through those eyes. But obviously, you need to see it through the eyes of someone that's been there, and you obviously have. So you see that perspective, and you can see that it is a massive thing with people generally in the UK at the minute, especially after like lockdown and stuff. There's like suicide rates are like through the roof. I think UK's got one of the biggest suicide rates, especially in like young men. And addictions through the roof. And yeah, like you say, people need that support, and there's a hell of a lot of people that are in that boat, and they need that support, and they need to get it from someone that's been there.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, what, anyway. In terms of the referrals, like what's the situation with that? Like, just to give some insight into how you've kind of structured that, how have you gone about the referrals? Because that's how you've built your business, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So there's 2 ways to do it. Well, there's 3 ways. You can do referrals of trust. You can get a social media post off your client, a recommendation. Don't do, I mean, listen, this is just us, right? I'm just telling you what we do. And we deal with, right, real Joe public. That's our client base. So we would get a client like John and say, John, I hope you think I've done a good job. Would you mind about 7:30, 8 o'clock tonight when the kids go to bed, doing a little post on social media? I'll even send it across you. What want you, right? And tagging 99 friends on social media, whether it be Facebook, Insta, whatever it may be, and just say that I've done a good job, saved you a couple of quid, you'd recommend my services, bang, and I'll reply to it. And then what we do is we just give a little inbox to each one of the 99 saying, look, John's done a post for me, he's copied you in, I've done his life insurance, would you like a free review? I'd love to help you out. And that's how we do a lot of our business. We do something called the 4 boxes, where at the end of each sale, end of each appointment, I'd sit down with John's my client again. I always sell insurance to John. And I'd sit down and say, right, John, hope I've done a good job for you. Now I'm looking to help your family, your friends, your colleagues at work, and just a few of your mates who you go to the match with or go to the pub with or whatever it may be, right? So first of all, I just need 2 or 3 family members. That's all. Can I get 2 or 3 names of your family members? And I usually go, mum, dad, brother, sister. Brilliant, that'll do. Now I need 2 or 3 of your mates. Good mates, long term. Yeah, of course. Steve, John, and Dean. Great, thank you. Now we're going to go 2 people you went to school with, James and Mark. And I just want to go now, somebody who you work with, just 1 or 2 people you work with, and they'll go, yeah, we're going to go with Mary and Jennifer. Brilliant, great. I've sent you a message. You want to send a broadcast message to all them? And the message will just say, look, just had my life insurance done, off Lee, Bespoke Financial Group, good person, give me a free will, save me a couple of quid, blah, blah, blah. I've recommended you. He's going to give you a call tomorrow night. So when I call tomorrow night, Jennifer goes, oh, yeah, I got a message about you and I've seen it on social media. I've already got insurance. And we said, no problems at all. I'll try a rebuttal. I understand how you feel. Listen, John felt exactly the same way. But once he found out it was just a free review, 15 minutes on the phone, my job's to try and save you some money, get you better cover, and I'll give you a free will. How does that sound? So you've got to learn the art of the rebuttal, because you're going to have to turn no's into maybes and maybes into yeses. And that's how we do the majority of our business. Recently from that one now, you're not allowed to join our company until you start bringing in recruit. You start building from an early stage, because we believe in the power of multiplication. So we'd say, like, look, I'm going to recruit 3 people. So the 3 people would all, one of their main first jobs is to set up 3 appointments, the 3 red panty night appointments, because it's just mum, dad, brother, sister. And I'm going to say to them, look, what 3 people in your network, because you can't join us without a list of 200 names and numbers. What 3 people do you think would be good? Network marketers, Herbalife, sports people are good. People who follow instructions, somebody who's worked in a call center before. Give me 3 people. I'm going to show you how to recruit them into your team. So we start building their business the day of the interview. They'll get 3 new recruits in the system and 3 sales. And that they're going to give us 3 sales and 3 recruits as well. Dish, you're going to go like that. So that's how we get referrals, mate. If I'm going fast, sorry, it's just the way that I am.
No, it's all good, man. Another question I've got in terms of, obviously most people on here are quite established, but a lot of the people that we have come on and will probably watch this are like new to the game, and they want to just kind of learn how to get into the game, really. And what, like, just for somebody starting fresh, like, what would be your kind of advice for someone starting new, the first things they can do to get moving and get traction?
Cool. Write down a list of 200 names and numbers.
Yeah, like your low-hanging fruit, like people that they know.
Write down a list of 200 names and numbers. A really short, simple process. See, Amazon and Netflix changed the way that we consume, but no one goes to Blockbusters no more to just pick out a video and go all the way there and back. People want things quickly, speed kills. So get really quick, a simple process where you can do 1-part appointments. Get really quick at doing 1-part appointments, nice and quick. Do a contact club on a Friday night, set your appointments up for the following week. Go and be able to be really quick at doing 1-part appointments. Get a very simple fact find where it goes personal details, liabilities, existing cover, income expenditure, close. What happens next? Boom. That should be your simple process. A fact find should take no longer than 20, 30 minutes. Bang, and you're in. And that's how you close, and that's how you build a business up like that one. Because you want to get a reputation. Someone goes, hey, great him. He was only here for half an hour. He didn't spend 4 hours on the set, like the old days, you know, like some of us remember. We want to be nice and quick like that, and focus on them 5 things. Know to make phone calls and when I'm saying phone calls, know to get a rebuttal. A phone call should just be intro, reason, close. So an intro as a new recruit should be, hi, is that Jade? Hiya, Jade. Look, it's Lee. I've just started my new career, Bespoke Financial Group, award-winning company, fully qualified life insurance advisor. I'm ringing a few of my friends. I'm going to go meet Dean. I'm going to go meet Andy next week. Good lads. Please can ask for your help. I just want to come along, do a free review on you. I'll give you a free will worth £140. And like Dean, like Andy, I'd be so grateful for helping me out. How about Monday or Tuesday? Bang. You've got to get good at the phone calls. And when they give you a rebuttal, you've got to understand how to say, yeah, I understand how you feel. Listen, Dean, you know, you felt exactly the same way. But once you found out it was just a free review, cup of tea, you'd be helping a friend out, please come and see you Monday or Tuesday. I'll be back in again. So get really good at making contact with people and rebuttals. Next one, I'd be good at closing. You'd be amazed the amount of salespeople don't know how to close. They don't know how to close. Amazing to me. It's just a question. We're all right asking for knicker size and did you have an STD and how much have you got in your bank account and how much debt you have, but we won't ask, do you want to go ahead with that? It's like, it's the scary thought. Get good at referrals. Just do that simple referral thing I did. Please don't go on the route when people go, can you think of anybody? I'm looking to grow my business. Can you think of anybody who might be interested? Like, they don't care about you or your business. They want to know what's in it for them. So get a good referral incentive scheme. Usually 50 quid a sale do. And then go recruitment. You've got to be good. You've got to be building and growing your business. If you're not recruiting, if you're not growing, you're dying. You've got to be looking at that and think if one recruit isn't one recruit, it's 3 recruits and 9 appointments. And they're not appointments sitting with someone's mum, dad, brother, sister. And if they say, you know what, I've seen the appointments, I don't want to do it, go, right, I've got your 200 names and numbers. Do you want to be an introducer for me and just set up appointments and I'll pay you off each one? They then just got yourself 600 phone numbers. You'll never get 600 referrals off a client in a million years. It's a no-brainer way to go. Nobody likes being sold to, but we all like going shopping with our friends. And social media, you've got to be really good at social media. Because it's your shop window, you know, people need to know who you are, what you do, and you need to position yourself as an expert within your particular field, and you need to position yourself as somebody who knows what they're doing and a real person. So yeah, I would just focus on the circle of success.
But yeah, I think what you say about those 200 names and numbers, like a lot of people will just ignore their social media, like their personal profiles, and think they need to do everything on the business profile. But most people have got 200 people on their Facebook personal profile, and they just think they can't put themselves out, or they're too scared to put themselves out there. But even just like I said, just putting a post out there is not going to work. I think if you just message people and just make them aware of what it is that you do and how you can help them, and just open that contact, it just goes a long way. Even if they're not in the market right now for your services, they might, because you've sent them that message 6 months later, if you're posting stuff on your personal page, they might think, oh yeah, I need a mortgage. Lee's messaged me. I'll contact him back because I know him. It's like your low-hanging fruit. That trust is already there. But a lot of people just kind of ignore that, I think, and they think they just need to put it on a business page. But
yeah, see, I don't have a business page. I'm not. Primis, I hope Primis don't listen to this, but I'm just like, no, point blank refuse to a business page, because you always say like people buy from people, they don't buy from businesses. If I want a business page,
no connection.
It's not relatable. There's no connection. I want to post pictures of me and my son. I want to post pictures of John Luther, Idris Elba, and he should be the next James Bond. If he's not, it's just because there's a racist dickhead making the. I just want to be me. You know what I mean? Like, because I am me, and I can't be
a human
else.
being. Yeah,
yeah.
That's what people connect with, especially when it's financial services. You need that trust. And that's what...
I agree. Yeah. But our game's full of bluffers, though. Like, just be careful. I would just be listen, please. I would give you please a bit of that. Just be careful of any bluffers in our industry. Like, full of them, bluffers. Come to my sales school, and I'm not naming names. It's the little chef on. It's $1,000 for a day's course with me. You've never sold. Like, it's bizarre to me, like, that you can peddle this stuff out and people are buying it. It's mental. But God bless. Good luck to them.
Yeah. Anybody else got anything for Lee? Any questions?
Is anyone in Primis?
I think there's a few, aren't there?
Yeah, but yeah, Primis is good.
Yeah.
Got like, listen, Primis,
Johnny.
Yeah, Primis are good. Like, a network's standard, but like, Primis got the biggest and best firms. It's like it's for a competitive point of view. Like, you know, Oliver Lodge is there. You got the best sales, but sales people. I would follow Oliver if I was you. You watch Oliver's page, you'd be like, he can't sell that much insurance. Look at him. Look at the way it goes on. It's like, it defies logic, but people buy from people, you know. He's some boy.
Yeah, I say it's that human connection that people need.
God bless. I agree.
All right, well, we've done an hour, well, just over an hour, but
no, thanks. I really appreciate the opportunity, and I wish you all the best, mate.
Don't thank me, mate. Thank you.
I think it's great yourself, and is it Ross, your business partner? I think it's great that you're going out your way to help people in the industry, build your business, helping people. Is there something the book Go Giver, if anyone's ever read it? What a book that is. Super book about giving, the gift of giving, and you guys do so much to help other people. You put so much free content out, and God bless you, Dan, and nice to meet you, Ross.
Yeah, cheers. I'll check that book out. It sounds good.
It's good, man. If anyone needs any help, just give me a message, right? I'll be happy to jump on a call or anything you need.
Dan, saw it a few years ago, place I used to work, Cream Financial Solutions.
Oh, yeah, with Big Si.
Yeah, Big Simon, yeah. I
Yeah.
remember that the first time I saw you, inspiring them, mate, and inspiring again tonight, and well done to you, mate.
Top
Fair
man.
play to you.
Cheers, Dave. Nice to meet you, mate.
And you, buddy. Nice to see you again, yeah.
Lovely to see you. I remember you, yeah. Top man. Cheers, brother. God bless.
Cheers, buddy.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
No,
Good luck,
thank you,
everyone.
Lee. Yeah.
Thanks, Lee.
God
Thanks
bless.
for coming,
Bye.
everybody.
Oh, pleasure. See you. Bye.
Cheers,
Bye.
guys.
Thank
Take care,
you.
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.